it's starting for me.
Finally, yep, it's
There we
starting for
go.
me too. Don't worry about it. I thought
Yeah.
there would be a little bit less delay because I was at the countdown, but that's not a big issue.
It doesn't look
So,
like Xinera's timer has started, unfortunately.
oh,
So,
that is a shame because he did actually test that before. Unfortunately, his timer not running. I guess I'll just bring it up.
gotcha. I didn't actually know you could customize like the painting in the room.
Yeah, you could. Good
I think you can
too. I'm
customize.
kind of upset about this particular one. But what are you gonna really do about that?
Yeah.
See what's going on here. See if we keep going.
Oh, oh,
Yeah,
looks
I
like
think we are
Xinera.
resetting.
Oh, okay.
At
That sucks.
least Xinera is, unless Goodigo is gonna keep going.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be advantageous to him, so he might as well just reset for the sake of the thing.
Yeah. You don't really like. There's not a real lot of time comparison in the intro. like, like people who like run the game a lot just like go through it like normal pace now. I believe.
But we both added them at the same time. All right,
Really?
so we are gonna get a reset. Goodigo has confirmed.
Oh, good. Okay.
We're just gonna start again. Hopefully, Zara's timer works this time. Otherwise, I think we'll just have him. If either of them don't start, I'll just have them. Just start the timer manually. Oh no.
I think Goodigo and Xinera are both trying to gnome everybody. It's pretty great.
I expected from Goodigo. I did not fully expect it from Xinera, but it's already too late for me to have that false sense of security.
Yeah. Okay, so I knew you could change like the textures. I didn't know you could make them animated. Like that's actually amazing.
Yeah. Apologies if that sounded weird. They should be both starting really soon. Countdown occurred. Again, not entirely sure about this delay on the RTMP.
Yeah.
I don't remember. No, they've started.
Yep, they're
Xenera
starting
started
again.
a little bit later, but that could have just been stream delay. Oh no.
At least they didn't make it all the way through like the intro cutscene, because that would have been like 5 minutes. We had the game back. So the intro cutscene's like 5 to 6 minutes long usually. It if we got all the way through that and Daenerys' timer wasn't running, that would have been a really unfortunate situation. So sure glad that didn't happen.
Right.
answer that. I'm absolutely sure you're fine. There's plenty of time for you to recover. Just take it.
Please prepare for emergency evacuation.
Stay calm. Stay calm. Prepare. That's all I'm saying. Prepare. It's all fine. All right. Don't move. I'm gonna get us out of here. Oh, you might want to hang on to something. Word of advice. Up to you. You all right down there? Can you hear me? Hello?
All right. Apologies for being muted for a little bit there. Just to put on the record, I may be muting every now and again for the next half hour or so. Eventually, it should calm down, but unfortunately, there's nothing I can really do about it. But yeah, T-Port already mentioned it. We're at a 5-minute cutscene currently. Quite a durable one. There's not really much to talk about.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that T-Port was correct. They did both gnome us. T-Port was an actual GIF, which is not
Alright,
exciting.
Goodigo, you mean? Hey.
Did I say Xinera?
No, you said I think you said my name, actually. I think you said T-Porter. But,
I
I
don't
don't
know
know.
what happened.
But
Either
either
way,
way.
they both gnomed us. They're both
Yeah.
on pretty much the same pace. Again, it's just a cutscene, nothing much here. Part of the reason why, about a month ago or so, we established a rule where you can skip this whole cutscene if you add the time back on, which proved extremely useful for bringing a little bit of life back into this community. Because before this tournament, like a few weeks before this tournament, there was basically no one running this game.
Yeah,
And
there's
now,
like...
thanks to new rule changes and this tournament, we've gotten a lot of life back, which I'm really glad to see.
See, I'm actually a pretty dead runner, but I'm still commentating. So...
He came out of nowhere. I have no idea.
Yeah, literally, like, I got messaged by one of the runners, and he was just like, hey, commentate. I'm like, okay. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I needed someone in case I was muted, so thank you for your sacrifice.
I'm not as knowledgeable as Fat Man, but I can explain some things, or how to do them, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll be probably more on how to do them, because, like, on how things work, I'm not the best about that, so.
Makes sense. Let me just make sure this is happening on Speed Gaming 3, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Making sure I have the right chat open. But a little bit of the game is about to start in about 10 seconds. And then about 30 more seconds of waiting.
Mm.
This is the cutoff point for that containerized save, which I was mentioning. That's where you'd start runs.
Yeah, it actually is quite useful, because, like, that saves...
That's 5 minutes. That's
like,
very significant.
Right about 5 minutes, yeah, like... That's crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, don't skip this 30 seconds, but it's more palatable, I feel,
Mm.
the 5 minutes. But now the game is about to actually start in about 3, 2, 1.
Go! Let's get it. No.
Starting off right away, there's a little bit of dialogue. Dialogue is a crucial element of the speedrun. Basically, the way the elevators work, it's not really that much of the case in this map, but in a lot of other maps, the way the elevators work is that every once in a while, when you're going up or down the elevator, it detects whether dialogue is playing, and if dialogue is not playing, then it will transition to the next level. If it is, it'll wait until the next little checkpoint. And as a result, you will see runners waiting at the end of the elevators quite often. And that is just to sync the dialogue right with one of those checkpoints to optimize the time save.
Yeah, like
Don't
right
even know
here,
and
what
see.
Xinera is doing.
Apparently, Xinera got toilet swoosh. I thought it was a miss, but apparently that was a hit. I apologize for not bringing it up.
Huh.
For the record, who doesn't know, you saw that there was a toilet in the first little vault room that you were in. Toilet swoosh is when you can throw the clipboard up and have it land in the toilet. It's pretty hype when it happens, and I think that that alone ensures Xinera's victory here.
That's actually really impressive. I didn't see him get that at all.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
I thought I saw it go behind the toilet and he like shook his head and then walked away, but that was about all I
Yeah.
did.
Xinera good to go on Portal Gun. Made note of them waiting in the middle of the level here. This is actually setting up for a skip, where if you set if you set Wheatley's dialogue to play at the same time that the announcer dialogue is playing, it'll actually overwrite the announcer dialogue, which saves like 10 seconds. It's a pretty big deal. I believe they both got it.
Yeah, it looks like they both got it.
Can't be sure for Goodigo because I do not have the audio. Yeah, it looks like he did.
Seems like Goodigo is like a couple of seconds behind Xinera at the moment.
Yeah.
I think he
Not,
like was,
not a huge deficit. It's only
I think-
chapter 1 though, so it makes sense.
I think he was messing around in like the intro cutscene and stuff too. I think he missed a jump or something. I can't remember. I remember I saw his like screen like flash into like the like yeah, it just was late in comparison to Xinera's.
Yeah. Goodigo messing up the cube clip. Finally gets it. Basically, clip a cube into that room just by having it go through the door. The reason we do that is because the game thinks it's a soft lock. And because it knows that you can soft lock like that, they intentionally open the door as soon as you get the soft lock, which we abuse, obviously. There's some apologies if the commentary is a little bit sporadic. There's a lot happening in chapter 1 that needs to be explained.
Yeah.
What you may have saw in this map, the cube momentum that Goodigo just finished, and this next map that Xinera is just going to start, is where you can stand in a portal, and then shoot a portal elsewhere and go back through it. It's an interesting mechanic which is used in a few places throughout the run. Xinera missing the B-hop and needing to resort to the fling
Yeah.
cross, but he's about to set up a button glitch. He's gonna keep the button on forever by just getting on and off it quickly. He's messing up the setup. This might give Goodigo a bit of an opportunity to catch up. I don't know what's happening here. Ooh, he's still... Meanwhile, Goodigo gets it first try. Brings him back ahead.
Yeah, they're trying to stick the button so that they don't have to grab a cube and place it on the button. It saves quite a bit of time,
Yeah.
actually.
Not when he does it like that, though.
Yeah. It actually probably would have been faster just to, like, go and get the cube, especially in this
would've been.
situation.
But yeah.
I-
Commentary could slow down a little bit here, Ian. Again, sorry for talking a little bit fast. But just a lot happening. Now there's like a minute of the same trick. So this is one of the first major skips of the speedrun, and it has two elements to it. The first part is getting above the level and using that to go to the end where Wheatley is. And the reason you want to do that is because if you go through normally, which is through a portal, the portal will no longer be there, so you can't go back into the first room. And the reason we want to do that is to prep to skip a whole cutscene where we put Wheatley into a receptacle. All we do is we just shoot a portal to the end section of the level and just bring Wheatley with us. Goodigo having a lot of trouble with getting above the level during our whole discussion. See, there are a couple ways to get up, and he's doing one of the slowest.
Yeah, personally,
yeah,
when I do it, like I I always just go back up the stairs and just do a wall run and try to jump on it again.
Yeah, I do the same.
I don't think.
There,
Yeah.
there you saw
So-
Xinera succeed in the skip, doing it pretty well. Once again, brought Xinera back to the lead after Goodigo took it temporarily. See, he's flashing colors because he is notably upset as a result of all that failure. To explain briefly what that is, since we're basically done with all explanation stuff now, and we can kind of just relax on our commentary a little bit. So the colors that he just used, there's a command called matte ambient light, which lets you color tint your screen a certain amount.
Yeah, that will be
That
used
was
later throughout the run too.
Yeah, it'll be used later all in combination, not just the red, the green, or the blue.
Mm.
It'll actually just be just a brighter screen. That was allowed like last month, and as a result, Goodigo feels that he can just spam the colors of the rainbow as freely as he chooses.
Yeah, it's been allowed to be used in like chambers and challenge mode and stuff, but yeah, until last month,
Yeah.
it's
It hasn't been allowed in
yeah.
full game runs until months ago.
I think it's kind of nice.
But yeah, now we're on Wake Up, which is just a little bit of bunny hopping, as you see Goodigo doing currently, followed by a cutscene that's about 3 minutes long. Hopefully Xinera grabs Hoopy, and he does. Just a little Easter egg. It's nice to grab in the middle of your run.
Too bad he threw away Hoopy. I'm sad now.
I throw away Hoopy too.
Oh.
It's understandable.
Power up complete.
Oh, it's you.
You know her?
It's been a long time. How have you been? I've been really busy being dead. You know, after you murdered me.
You did what? Oh no! No, 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 no! Oh no, no, no!
Ooh, that looks interesting. Gonna go blue tinted screen.
A lot of things that you're going to regret.
It looks really interesting in this room, actually.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. He's doing a lot of
I
interesting.
appreciate him giving some entertainment, since there really isn't much we can say about what's going on.
Yeah, Xinera's is moving into Incinerator, which I don't know if he'll like do that one like beginning jump thing, but
What?
where
The
like
challenge
you're-
mode thing?
yeah, but I'm not sure if they like a lot of runners do that or not, but
I'll figure out what you're talking about eventually. But yeah, Xanera's cutscenes are almost over, and that's pretty much it for cutscenes until Chapter 5, which is going to be about 20 minutes from now. And then there's a lot more, and then
okay,
it kind
no,
of
he did go
stops.
for it. Because from the beginning, I think you can jump to the left and then jump on to the right, rather than having like the wait for the I don't know what they're called, but wait for the things to move up.
Nah, it's not worth it in runs.
Yeah,
You will have seen, though, Xanera kind of wrap around the edge of that platform. Instead of just going through straight, he kind of wraps around. That's actually to skip a trigger that gives a 5-second delay to you grabbing the portal gun. So when you do that, it gives you the ability to grab the portal gun early, which is useful for a lot of things, not just having it faster, but you could set up better dialogue skips for the rest of the map. Now we're going to begin laser intro.
yep, the beginning of chapter 2.
One of the first maps where we use the laser, except we don't use the laser.
He just uses
He
like
just jumped over the level, basically. It's not necessarily over, but it's basically over.
it If Xinera didn't put the floor portal fast enough, it
I
would have
think
fizzled
Goodigo
out.
messed up. He did mess up the dialogue. So he has to wait for the portal gun, as you can see. But unfortunate.
This next test involves discouragement.
Now Xenera's on the second laser map. He's still not going to use a laser. It's always fun to see.
Having a little bit of trouble with the cube, but he finishes still pretty quickly.
You are a horrible person.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid performance overall.
A horrible person.
I believe
It's
Goodigo's just
one of my
moving
least favorite maps in Chapter 2.
Goodigo's
I
just
always
moving
lose a bit of time.
to Chapter 2 right now. So he's about 2 chambers behind Xinera.
Ooh, Goodigo.
Let that horrible person thing discourage you.
Actually, I don't know how long it was in the elevator. It didn't look good.
It makes you feel
Yeah.
better.
He seemed to miss the dialogue
Yeah.
or whatnot.
Congratulations.
Now Xenera setting up laser switch glitch. Basically, the way that works is that when you have a laser going in one direction, and then you shoot the laser to go into another direction, for one tick, for a split second, it's going to both paths. And we use that one to hit both receptacles at the same time to activate dialogue, and then a second time to open the door. And an interesting quirk about the door is that if you stand next to the door while it's activated, even for just a tick, it'll open, which proved pretty useful. Makes that a quick map.
Oh no, Xinera lost the cube.
Xenera drops the cube.
So what he's going to do with the cube is he's going to place it on the platform so you can use it to jump to the ending platform, but he's also going to like grab the cube while doing that. So it's kind of, personally, I think it's kind of difficult.
Then he misses the jump. I wouldn't. This is a strange route to see him do, and to mess it up too, because it's not anything particular. He's gonna get it now, though.
I thought he missed, but I forgot you jump on the left too. There's like
Gives Goodigo a little bit of a chance to catch up. He, I think, is only 30 seconds behind about at this current moment. Also considering the fact that Goodigo's timer's 10 seconds ahead. Or 8 seconds, but is that behind or ahead? What do you think? Okay. We'll just see what Goodigo does for Laser Ragu, because there's a couple of ways to do the map. Like 4 or 5 that people do.
There was a link posted in the chat a second ago if you want to see like how the tournament pans out and whatnot. Then you can go look at the brackets, and also there's other streams of different races going on for Portal 2 right now on the other speed gaming channels. So
Goodigo opting for the intended route for that map. Understandable. All the other routes are do demand a little bit and can be easy to mess up, as you saw with Xinera. Even though he did the second easiest route, he still messed it up a good amount. But yeah, you may see here Xinera doing what looks like lollygagging, just kind of walking around. That's actually kind of important. The reason he goes down to where the button is because if you shoot your portal back up there, like you saw him do, that guarantees that the rubble's going to land on the button. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a luck thing, and he can just end up having to press the button. Never paused for some reason. I don't know what that was for.
yeah. Seems like Goodigo's moving on to Trust Wing as well. I think he's probably about 10 seconds behind Xinera at the moment.
More like 30 or 40.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
This is a long map. Meanwhile, Xinera moving on to the hardest map of Chapter 2, Pit Flings. You can see him just building momentum here using reportals. Could explain briefly what a reportal is. Pretty much the game, in order to ensure that you get out of the portal when when you get out of the portal, when you shoot another one, it pushes you outwards. And you may note that for the portal stand, which I mentioned earlier, we're going against that. With the reportal, we're actually using that to gain speed, and that proves very useful, especially for maps like that. We skip all elements of the puzzle. Pretty good overall. Wonder if Xinera's gonna do. Xinera's not gonna do the latest challenge mode route. A lot of runners
actually
are doing that
surprising.
route.
Because like the new route text is significantly faster.
It's only like a second, and it's not easy, so
Yeah, it's true. And yeah, if you do
only
miss it,
worth
then
it if you're trying particularly hard.
yeah.
Goodigo doesn't get triple reportal, unfortunately, but Xinera didn't either. In fact, they had basically the exact same pitflings, so what are you gonna do?
Good thing you made it though. This is putting him even further behind Xinera though. Pretty sure he's like
Xinera,
a full chamber or two behind.
while Xinera trying to skip dialogue here, since he's save loading, I'm assuming he's going for double dialogue. Basically, all that is he's going through a dialogue trigger 3 times, and
You
those
gotta
3 times each activate a different dialogue. So in the end, he's skipping all of the times he needs to go back on the faith plate. Intended, you have to go on it 3 times. But he keeps getting, I think he keeps getting single dialogue, but he's not getting double.
Yeah.
I would personally at this point just take the single.
Yeah,
But-
because at this point I think he's lost
No.
more time than just not doing it. So
This gives Goodigo a chance to catch up in game. He gave up. Yeah, he gave up finally.
yeah. And now
Accepted
Goodigo
the single.
a
See if
little-
Goodigo gets double. I don't think so.
he didn't know. He either got one. Oh wait, I think he did.
I don't. That one didn't look good. Let's actually see. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wouldn't. So Xanera's still in the lead. Goes for flip shot and misses. Unfortunate. Yeah, Xanera lost a lot of time here, but he's still significantly ahead of Goodigo. Goodigo still holding his own, however. Despite having a PB that is about 5 minutes
I'm surprised Xinera
slower.
took
Let me actually
the.
double check. I believe Xanera has a 107.45, while Goodigo has a 112.48. So running strictly on that, you'd think that Goodigo would be pretty far behind, but he's maintaining his own. That and Xanera is not playing very well. He's expressing his turmoils in the chat. But yeah, pay attention to Xanera's screen, because this is just an awesome thing overall, if he gets it.
I think this strat's just like one of my
He
favorite
does.
strats. And he got the backup. It looked like. I don't think he actually like got
I
hit
wouldn't
by
call that
the.
a backup. Some people just do that anyway.
Oh, okay.
To a lot
Yeah.
of people, flinging off of the panel is really difficult. Let's see if we can get Goodigo to panel fling. He
No,
doesn't.
he didn't.
He misses
Oh, and
box
he
bounce
missed.
too. That's going to cost him, but I think he made a good save. Yeah, that's a good save. So we should be fine. See what he does now. I think that's late. Yeah. He hit the panels. See, what you want to do there is you want to hit the panels, but just barely so that you still go forward. He hit them too hard, and as a result, just went straight up, which isn't good.
Excellent. You're a predator, and these tests are your prey. Speaking of which, I was researching sharks for an upcoming test. Do you know who else murders people who are only trying to help them? Did you guess sharks? Because that's
Goodigo, that's panel thing, which you just saw.
Nobody but
Doesn't need
Yeah.
to bounce off the box. Pretty good.
Good news. I figured out what to do with all the money I save recycling your one room full of air.
Now Xinera entering
I'm going to laminate your skeleton.
one of the hardest maps of the game.
That way,
He's going to try to go through the door before it closes.
Yeah. It's actually pretty difficult. You have to like get there and get there pretty quickly.
You have to get there quickly, but you also have to get there not too quick.
Yeah.
There's a whole timing thing. Kluger, one of the better runners of co-op, insists that the trick's impossible, which might be. Don't
Yeah,
have to worry
seems like
about it.
Xinera is struggling with this quite a bit.
Yeah. Oh,
But
finally
now I
gets
got
it.
it.
Opts to not do the reportal strat, which is interesting. I would think as a challenge mode runner mainly, he would go for that.
Well, probably because like he's been missing quite a bit of stuff already, so just playing it safe at this point.
Yeah, that's fair. Meanwhile, we can see how Goodigo is doing. As Xinera, next few maps are pretty straightforward and dull. Ooh, he actually does this. He waits for the panels to close, so he has an easier B-hop to the end. Very interesting play.
He didn't get it.
Might prove useful for him. He didn't get it first try, but save loading. It's overpowered. So glad we added it. Xinera just portaling about as
Seems
you
like
would.
Just have struggled with that strat.
Just clean through the map.
Goodigo
finally gets it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, no problem.
Also opts not to do the reportal. Slightly more expected.
Testing cycle. I simulate daylight at all hours and add adrenal vapor to your oxygen supply. So you may be confused about the passage of time.
Yeah, next few maps are pretty straightforward. See how people play. Here's another dialogue important thing. Because you may note there that he drops the cube. You may be wondering how that could possibly be valid. Like, he kind of just throws it as he drops it. Maybe wondering why he would do that. The reason being is that the dialogue for the end only activates when the cube is not being held. So you can't just line up the lasers and have the dialogue play. You actually have to throw the cube a little bit and hope it activates all three at the same time at some point in its landing, which isn't hard to have happen.
Xinera just used the turret, like shooting him for a boost. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's a strange. I don't know why it happened.
Yeah, I
why
actually
that's
don't
a
know why it
thing.
happens. Yeah, like I think it's just pretty cool. I wouldn't say like it's like that's kind of a hard question. Blaziken.
For Blaziken's question, I believe the Speed Gaming 5 race is Spitta versus Richard.
No, Richard and Spitta was speed. No, that was Speed Gaming 5. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say they're about similar.
Yeah, about the same. Yeah.
Except I think Richard is decidedly worse than Goodigo.
Oof.
It's not really much to say. If you're looking for the better race, just pick randomly. They're kind of similar. Although if you're looking for a closer race, I guess this is more likely to be it because Xinera's making a lot of mistakes and Goodigo less so. Even though he's still well behind. It's only by like a minute and a half. More like a minute. Speed Gaming 5 descended. That explains it. Okay. I assume this was from a host then. I didn't actually know that.
By the way, at
putting the pressure
5 p.m. EST, there's a race going on. It's a four-way race between I don't remember who, but
four-way race. One of the most important races going to be happening. Min Warrior versus Vortex. It's a must-see, really.
Yeah. Sure.
You have no idea. I could tell you have no idea what I mean by that.
Yeah, I
You'll
don't.
see. You'll see.
Look,
When
I'm
we're
just
done, when we're done
agreeing.
commentating, we can watch the greatest match of the tournament unfold. But yes,
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not.
don't worry about it. Don't.
So I very seriously doubt they'd even want to see you.
Xinera's doing this map. I'm wondering if he's going to do. I wonder if either of the players are going to be doing Jerry Skip. For those who don't know, Jerry Skip, or I guess there might be some people in the chat who will complain, Dane Skip. It's a trick at the very end of the level that Xinera is currently on, where instead of riding the elevator, you can actually clip underneath it. He's going to go for it. So we can see that at least. Basically, there's this whole like little cutscene in this elevator, and if you can clip through it, you can actually just ignore all of it and fall right to the end. Messing it up quite a bit.
Goodigo abusing the ambient command again. Making the room red.
Trying to. Okay, he got it. I didn't see it. I'm trying to decipher currently what's happening in chat. I don't fully. Okay, no.
So,
I think they're complaining about us.
so, that trick that's in there, do you know how that works fully? With, like,
Jerry Skip?
Yeah.
No. We've only found a setup for it like 3 days ago. We have some people who have developed some theories as to why it works, but I'm not sure if anything's confirmed yet.
Gotcha.
It's just possible to clip underneath the elevator, and it's only useful for that map because most other maps require that the elevator gets to the triggers. This is one of the few maps where it's actually the player that activates something and not the elevator, which is very convenient considering it's the one map with the long cutscene in it,
Yeah,
in its elevator.
I think that skip's also being called like Dane Skip and stuff by other people.
Yeah, I brought that up. I don't want to talk any more about it
Okay.
because that's frustrating. Okay, the 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 chat makes a little bit more sense now. That's very interesting turn of events to hear about. Ooh, Xinera messes up jailbreak a little bit. Good thing he made a save, so it's not going to be a big deal. But
I think Goodigo's actually quite a bit behind Xinera right now, unfortunately.
yeah, it's like a minute or minute and a half maybe. Although Xinera's not doing quite particularly well on this map. Might cost him a little bit. Ooh, he missed the he's not in the trigger for the end. What he was trying to do there is trying to get into that room early. The little room where Wheatley's in. And that's valuable because it lets you skip needing this bridge. He messed that up too, which is equally an issue. Lost pretty much as much time as he reasonably could have in this map. Unless he gets over this railing, which he does. No, he hit the ceiling. I thought I thought he had it. What a shame. Now they're technically on the same map. Let's see how Goodigo handles this. He doesn't go for
early
early entrance. Oh god. That's a fun color. Ooh, I don't know if you saw that. It still lingers a little bit in some textures, the color. I noted that. Xinera was gonna walk on the rails, but he decided to quit out of the hard part of staying on top of the rails, which is jumping over an invisible wall. Or jumping around an invisible wall, sorry. It's really easy to mess up, so I completely understand, but maybe a little lack of time save, which might prove useful in this race. Although he does have a pretty solid lead. I don't think he has too much to worry about as long as he doesn't mess up severely, which he could in this chapter.
So we're moving into the first chamber where they use the matte ambient command to like make it like a lot brighter.
Yeah, I
So
mentioned that for the brightness earlier, and now it's
Yeah.
actually useful.
like you said earlier,
First.
it's like pretty good. Like it's the first time this is allowed in full game runs. So
Yeah. You saw him walking on top of the scaffolding. That was actually to skip a mini cutscene where Wheatley turns on his light, which is part of the reason why.
it's honestly interesting how the game looks when everything's like full bright.
Yeah. Apologies for cutting myself off. Part of the reason why I lost my train of thought. I got apologies. Part of the reason why it's dark to begin with in this area, which is why matte ambient light's useful. If they just didn't go for that skip, then the area would be well lit enough that this wouldn't be necessary.
Yeah.
Now, Xinera going to a really finicky map in the chapters. He's going to be going for, at least I strongly believe he's going to go for turret hover. Very strange mechanic in this. Not a mechanic. Very strange. I don't know what you'd call it. Very strange thing in this game. Where
Yeah.
if you have two defective turrets like next to each other, they react very strangely, and
Yeah.
in doing that, you can actually cause yourself to go upwards.
Yeah, I think the reason you go upwards is because like the black turret's hitbox is actually quite different in comparison to normal turrets, so they just kind of like collide and then push like one up another.
They really like to push each other. That's a good observation to make. It's basically just pushing them into each other. Also, this is one of the few sections that are RNG. He could have gotten a bunch of white turrets there.
Yeah,
He
but
got lucky that he got only defective turrets. But as you can see, he's setting himself up. This wasn't easy to do at all. This used to be a challenge mode only strat, but someone found a setup for it.
Yeah.
And it made it really simple. And he looks like he gets it unless he misses a strafe. Nope, he's good.
Yep.
I thought he was
Yeah.
going to fall there, I'm not going to lie.
It's a lot
Right at
harder
the
than you
end.
think because the invisible walls go a lot higher than you would imagine. Like I've done it so many times where like I cause I tried it like for challenge mode and I just get like destroyed by the invisible walls.
Yeah.
No fun.
Hmm. Chad, calling us out
Come on. bro.
on the whole defective turret thing. Did I actually ever call them
You call
by
them
their other
defective.
name, or did I just call them defective?
I think we
don't
call them
know.
both.
That's unfortunate. That was not my decision, that was the game's, just for the record. If you're going to talk to anyone, talk to the developers.
Talk to Valve.
Goodigo. Ooh, just barely makes the strafe.
Barely.
It was close.
And he gets over it quite nicely.
I called them both. That's a shame. Okay. Not my fault. Okay. Xinera. Going into a cycles map. This map is just a bunch of bunny hopping just to set up for cycles. You may have noticed that he shot through the door there. Completely normal. That it doesn't have a texture that the portals collide with, and as a result, he can just shoot the panels through the wall, which proves extremely useful because he can burn some of the pipes before he's even in the room. Extremely valuable. Then the rest is just cycles.
Moving into another like map where you literally just sit there and do nothing. Tea bread.
Now we're on cutscenes mode now. Yeah, I
Yep.
should have mentioned that. Remember when I said earlier that about 30 minutes in, a lot of cutscene? It's starting now.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we could watch Goodigo play, I guess, but that's going to end shortly.
Yeah, he's on Near Toxin Sabotage, the one before what's Xinera's on it now.
Gonna try to estimate. I think he's only a minute and a half behind. And I think a good question to ask is Goodigo on personal best pace. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Xinera's not, judging from his performance.
Yeah.
Not to be offensive. It's just
It's also possible Goodigo's time could not be
he's
updated,
one of them.
so we'll see. We'll see what he gets at the end.
He is behind, according to the splits.
Okay.
Only by like 20 seconds, though, which is definitely recoverable. Now Xenera's on a little bit of not cutscene. See a little bit of gameplay, and now we're back on a cutscene. It's always fun. You can move around in this one though, which is at least a little bit more exciting. Maybe that's part of Xenernicus's reasoning for keeping Containeride safe banned. Who knows?
Wait, hold on. Sorry, I'm totally like out of the loop.
There's so much room for activities. Why would you want to skip this? Goodigo really putting on a show. I really appreciate it. He knows these sections are boring. He's making them less boring. And that is definitely valuable. I appreciate it very much. Tanger just got banned. I don't know what he did. Probably justified. If I had to guess. If I had to guess.
Ouch.
There really isn't much to say about this. Although Xinera, the map that they're both on now, just now, has one of the singular biggest time saves in the run.
Yeah,
And
you'll
it's
see
called.
that.
It has two names now. The one I prefer to call it is Elevator Skip. The one some people prefer to call it is McPedro Glitch. Both have their reasons to exist, but I'm just gonna not touch on that anymore.
I personally call it elevator skip, yeah.
Yeah. At the end of this level, there's an elevator that when you're within the elevator, there's a 2-minute cutscene that you have to watch through. So rather than going into the elevator, we go above the elevator. Spoilers, but you'll see it anyway. And considering the audience of the speed gaming, I imagine at least quite a few people have already seen it, as the Spitta versus Richard race just happened. It's always worth noting anyway. But again, this level's a lot of waiting. Like 5 seconds of necessary action, followed by waiting, followed by 5 more seconds of necessary action, then waiting, etc., etc. This area, this would even be worse. I haven't even thought about it. How much of a cutscene level this is. Imagine if we didn't have elevator skip. Like that's 2 more minutes of cutscene on top of 5 minutes of cutscene.
Hopefully Xenera saves right before he tries elevator skip the first time, because then if he doesn't, then it's gonna suck a lot.
I doubt he's not.
Because I was watching one of the other ones that runs later, and someone didn't save, and they just got wrecked by it.
When did that happen?
Wait, no, he did. Wait, no, I'm wrong. He did it, but he didn't save. It was Sushi, I think.
No, Sushi saved. I saw it.
Oh, he did? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, who was it?
Maybe the other racer.
Yeah, the racers that got just got taken out like throughout half the race.
I think it was probably Tanger. If you think you saw it then, it was probably Tanger. I kind of just completely glossed over elevator skip. You just saw him do it. One on top of it. And he went around. see Goodigo do it again. I don't think he's gonna mess it up. Gets it well. And you can see on Xinera's screen, again, as I mentioned, more cutscene. It's all very obnoxious, this whole section. Once this area is over, though, there's going to be not much any cutscene. At least until... Actually, I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think everything else is like less than 20 seconds.
Yeah. I think the longest cutscene is Longfall. Well, actually, besides like the beginning cutscene, but
Besides core.
yeah. Okay,
If
yeah,
you count
Core
this
is-
whole area as a cutscene, it's basically the longest, like 8 minutes. Especially if we didn't have Ellie skip. It would be extremely unfortunate overall.
Goodigo's falling. Xinera's entering underground.
Goodigo is currently falling.
So this time he's not doing any ambient things. At least not yet.
Now we're on Old Aperture. One of my personal favorite sections of the game.
Yeah, I just think it's like very interesting in comparison to a lot of the other sections.
Yeah. Brings the gel element, which is one of my favorite elements
Yeah.
of the puzzles. And of speedrunning. Speedrunning gives some interesting mechanics. As you can see here, this is just a bunch of portaling around. He's going to actually go for a really far shot. I hope he turns on Mad Ambient. He doesn't.
Yeah, it looks like
Doesn't
he got
matter though. He knows where it is. Gets it first try. No big deal. Strange to see that he doesn't use Mad Ambient Light though.
I have to do it with Mad Ambient. I'm really bad at it otherwise. I just don't play Underground that much.
It's a strange facet, just because, like, especially in these levels, because there's kind of a fog to the level, Mad Ambient Light actually lets you see past the fog, and as a result, you can actually see the platform you're shooting. He couldn't see the platform he was shooting, he just knew where it was. The looks were not deceiving, he did actually not see anything.
What chamber's next? Isn't it Cave Johnson?
Yep, next, a really, really difficult chamber here.
Yeah.
Well,
You
Goodigo
guys-
puts on a light show. I wouldn't have touched on it, but I couldn't look away. It was...
About to see
Pretty
Xinera go
unfortunate.
for I'd say it's a pretty difficult shot.
It's really long shot.
For sure.
He's
yeah.
going to try to do it without jumping, but I think his setup's bad.
Yeah.
No, he got it. Never mind.
Yeah.
But then after he does that, he's going to set up for a scripted momentum and reportal. I already mentioned what a reportal is, so I should explain just what a scripted momentum is. Basically, if you go into portals in a certain way for some reason, because, as you know, some movement, some momentums, an example, this fling to the railing at the end, it's scripted so that even if you have the wrong momentum, it corrects it. We go into the portal in such a way that it actually activates for us even if we don't have nearly enough speed to activate the scripted. And that with the reportal lets you bounce off that pipe, as Xinera did, go all the way to the end. That was a strange mess up on Goodigo's part.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noted that.
Hopefully he gets
He
it
missed-
this next try.
He should be fine.
Yeah, he got
Kind of
it.
weird. He doesn't jump on the that little. I don't know what you'd call it. I feel like there's a few things in this game that I wouldn't have the means to name.
Xinera's
But
on the first
Goodigo-
chamber that
Goodigo
uses,
actually gets the button glitch. Most runners don't actually. Oh, is he gonna go for cube clip? Oh, this is interesting. Hold on. He misses. Which is unfortunate, but he has more attempts.
and
and
he
he
got it.
gets it.
Wow.
Very strange overall. I don't know what caused it, but this was found a couple weeks ago. And basically, it's just the cube lets you clip upwards. There really isn't much I could say to explain it. It's really strange one. I don't think he saved time with it, but you can see he was able to skip the first part of the second chamber, which if you get it first try is extremely valuable.
Seems
Not
like
sure if
Goodigo's
it's
having
still
a bit of
valuable,
trouble.
No. Goodigo messed up the portal stand, which is interesting. But he's going to go for the reportal too. Mainly because if you go for that long shot, you don't have a choice but to get the scripted. And if you get the scripted momentum, you might as well go for the reportal, which he gets first try. Like the gamer he is. Xinera on bomb flings. Curious what route he's gonna. I wonder if he does the super reportal. He might. He
This is
doesn't.
one of
Okay.
the chambers I have a lot of trouble with.
Bomb flings.
Yeah. Not like the easiest
It's not
chamber.
really a hard map, I would
Yeah.
say.
I don't know.
Especially if you do that. I thought Xinera was crazy enough to do it. Turns out I was wrong.
He has a nice portal gun too.
Well, here you can see on Goodigo's screen, you can see what Xinera skipped. Obviously, he didn't get the button glitch, unlike Xinera, who, in my opinion, just got lucky. So we needed to actually grab the cube and put it on. But this is the area that he skips.
Yeah, Xinera really didn't save him a lot of time at all then.
You can see he's going to opt for this route. You can just get on top of that scaffolding. It gets you high enough to climb up there. That's everything that's skipped by Cube.
That's about it, yeah.
Well, you can look at Xinera's screen. He just did a long shot to skip part of the map. And he's going to do something. Going to do something kind of strange. For some reason, if you crouch in a certain way underneath that glass, it just breaks. It just does.
It really do be like that.
And then he just flings to the end like that. Still again skipping. He doesn't go for the dialogue at the end. These chapters still have fades at the end, just like the beginning chapters did. Generally, people forget about them more, but they are still there. Yeah, if we could reassess the time behind, I think Goodigo's still only a minute and a half behind. Might be
Yeah, I
closer to
actually
2
can tell
minutes
this.
now, but he's still
Yeah.
pulling his own quite well.
I don't know
Again,
what the
partly because he's not playing bad, and partly because Xinera's kind of playing bad. Self-admitted. This isn't me talking. I'm pretty sure he would say the same thing.
I have no idea what pace they're on it now. I'd say probably like 109, maybe 110.
I don't have that kind of information memorized. I could actually get a reference real quick. Yeah, Xinera's going to be doing another skip here. Normally in this map, you'd be grabbing GLaDOS, which in this current form is a potato. But instead, if you're playing in a particular way, he messed up. So he's going to opt for the easier way of flinging to the end. Really simple way, just ignore all of that cutscene and just go right to the end. And that's this chapter done. The next chapter, I'd say, is the hardest one in the speedrun.
Yeah, for sure.
Next to 3. Chapter 3, which had the door skip and a bunch of other stuff, and this chapter, I'd say, are the hardest ones in the run.
Yeah, it just has a lot of
First, see Xinera going for a super long shot. Could hardly see it. And then
This
he's
is
going to
the
just reportal at the end. It's a really quick map if you do it right, but he's fortunately not.
Yeah. This reportal is
Should be fine, though.
pretty difficult.
It's not easy by any means. He got
But he almost got it. That's unfortunate.
that was close.
I believe Goodigo's just going through the long dialogue in the ACB on the same chamber. If Goodigo
Gets it.
Yeah. If he gets it, he could maybe be like, I don't know. He could save a bit of time on Xinera on that chamber at least.
I haven't really been paying too much attention to Goodigo just because Xinera's decidedly ahead.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's messed up a lot. Have you noted any mistakes? Any big ones?
I think he had a pretty rough chapter 3 actually. I think just that chapter overall kind of like
No,
brought
that's
him down pretty
fair.
hard.
It's not an easy chapter, to be fair.
Yeah.
You saw Xinera there. Could have messed that up. That's a really strange bug that he just abused there.
Rip
For some
Goodigo, he just
reason,
that fling.
for that particular platform, you can just scroll on Blue Gel and just get a lot of speed. I still don't fully know what causes it, but proves useful here. There's actually a slightly faster strat that was found a couple weeks ago. I'm not shocked that he didn't do it because it's not really that worth it, but it's worth noting. There's like a super reportal in quotes
Yeah.
that was found and used kind of recently. Explain what a super reportal is. Basically, you get yourself stuck in a portal, and you reportal multiple times, and in reportaling multiple times, you build speed. With when you save load, it actually makes it really easy. So that's a really good strat when you can save load abuse, but you're not allowed to save load abuse in the run. So you have to do it in unusual ways, and that is one of the and that map has one of the unusual ways that you can do it. Very interesting overall.
We're about to get the white gel, which is
Yeah, there's only one map that we used the white gel, the portal gel, if you will, and we just use it to get gel to the end, and then we just free portal to the end. Well, that was a strange. That was a strange way to do that. Why did he double reportal there? I don't know if you noted that, but he did 2 reportals. You only need 1 to get up on that side. If I had to guess, he was probably going to go for the challenge mode route. In which case, the double reportal is useful because then you can get right to the end of that railing. But he messed up somehow and just ended up doing 2 reportals for no reason. As you can see, flings up to the end just casually. And now Xinera's on
triple gels.
the only map where the stuck launch is used.
The stock launch is pretty interesting, yeah. If you can explain that, yeah.
Not only is it used once, but it's used twice. I hope at least one of these runners does double stuck launch. But the first one's almost used by everyone. So, pretty much the way that building speed works when you're falling, it's not based on how far you've fallen, but how long you've been falling. So if you can get yourself stuck in a particular way that the game thinks you're falling, but you're not, you just build up speed continuously, and as a result, can just fly downwards like that. And because we have blue gel, we can convert that to upward speed. And as we can see, Xinera doesn't do double stuck launch, unfortunately. That's something I'm shocked about. How few runners in this tournament have done the double stuck launch?
Yeah, I don't remember who used it in the race between Tango and Sushi, but I think Sushi used it.
I think Sushi used it. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
But like, there are plenty of runners that haven't that I feel like are good enough that they should, especially because they're just set up that makes it easy. I've been told by someone, but the rank 2 person in this game actually, he says that it only saves like 1 second, which I don't agree with, but I don't really know for certain.
Xinera missed the bounce off that pipe there.
Xinera going for 2 bounce instead, a equally viable route, only loses like 5 seconds over this double stuck launch. Basically, there's just blue gel in that tube, and you can just bounce off it for some reason.
I'm pretty sure Xinera is in the lead by a significant amount right now.
Someone asked, yes, who's in the lead? It's not that far off. They're on the same map still. Keep that in mind.
It's true.
So there's like a 50-second deficit, and he's at the start. I'd say they're like a minute and 40 seconds apart, but Xinera's in the lead, definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
And you can see he gets up to the end. There's either of those routes, the double stuck launch or the 2 bounce, both skip a cutscene that's not a cutscene, but like there's an elevator that goes down extremely slowly and then goes up extremely slowly. save like 40 seconds doing that. Here we go. Good to go. Does both. Now we can see what the other route is for comparison. You can see you spent a little bit of time putting blue gel there, but that ends up being worth it overall over the time save of getting the stuck launch.
I think we
Basically
both
allows
just,
you to go up as soon as possible. You don't need to wait for the tubes at all. You can just go as soon as the door is open enough. Meanwhile, Xinera, cube
Yeah,
throw.
I think he's gonna miss the cube throw just based on what he said in chat.
A bit of spoilers, but
Nope, never mind.
I think he just memed us, I guess.
He just memed us pretty hard.
Pretty much, if you just place the button, if you just place a cube on that button, it puts a panel up, which prevents you from going to the exit. But if you throw the cube and then get to the exit before the cube lands, you can ignore that panel and just go through. That skips like a 40-second cutscene about.
It's
As
pretty
you can see, he
significant,
eats
yeah.
it. I have my personal best splits open, so I have a comparison point for the actual time of the run, like the final time. I think that Xinera is about 3.5 minutes behind me. A little bit less, actually. 3 minutes 10,
So what do
which
you
would
think?
which would suggest that he's on 107 pace still,
Oh,
if he
okay.
plays well. Good to go. If I would guess, he's on
He's on PB
110,
pace, yeah.
which is PB.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it shows. Haven't really seen him mess up a lot in
The run,
the
yeah.
later chapters, but that might be a jinx for this hard trick. Well,
He
you'll
missed
have
it.
to see. He misses once. That's not unsurprising. Not just not against his skill, but just it's easy to mess up at least once on test. The separator is whether you mess up multiple times. But now Xinera, we need to
Struggling a bit with.
talk about this. Goodigo gets it third try, by the way. Now Xinera's flying. I guess we need to explain a little bit about that, because if we don't,
Yeah, CFG is a bit
we're gonna have a
confusing.
little bit of problems. Pretty much for some reason, you can trick the game into thinking you're in a funnel, even when you're not. And that just gives you free control and just flight, basically.
Yeah.
The way that's done is that you just get into a portal, and when you get into a funnel, my mistake, and when you get to 0 velocity, you can crouch, and optionally you can uncrouch. And then once you get out of the funnel, you can just keep it forever.
Seems like
And in
the
this,
game like has a lot of mechanics that are really like
yeah,
based off of like crouching. It's like crouching's pretty broken, it seems like.
yeah. And one of the most important things about this is that he keeps it for the next map. As you saw, he just kind of just ignored all of that map.
Yeah.
In this game, there are a couple ways to lose fly, but like in the map that you get the funnel fly, if you either crouch or just either way, just cancel. You can just cancel it by switching whether you're crouched or uncrouched.
I think in some
You can
cases
you can remove the funnel,
yeah.
which you used in some way, shape, or form. That deletes it. Or for map, when you preserve it to the next map, go into a new funnel. And when you do that, it cancels everything. So you see, they're both going for the fly preserve, which is good. Good to see. They're a very niche case of like old runners that don't do that. Glad to see that both these runners do. I guess it's fair because they're both relatively new to SS.
Yeah, the CFG is really useful. It seems like for both categories, inbounds and out of bounds. I think, yeah. It's a nice like glitch to be found.
Yeah. And Polarity, hardest map in the game. by far the map Xinera is currently on.
Yeah, very difficult.
Very precise movement there. He's fortunate he got it first try. Over. Really, really, really solid gameplay. And now they're both in a load. Perfect. Almost the exact same. They're on different map loads, but they're just both in the load. Always fun to see for as a commentator. But as you see now, Xinera is doing another strange thing. Probably the last super strange thing to happen in the run.
Yeah.
For
It's
some reason, those types of surfaces, those graded ones, if you shoot at a particular angle in a particular position, you can actually place a portal on them. There's not much I can say about where, like what angle and what position. It's just that there's positions that work in speedruns.
Goodigo
Goodigo
struggling.
struggling to cube throw. There you go.
Yeah.
He had the funnel, which makes that a little bit easier. He doesn't need to actually have it press the button, as was the case for Xinera, where he actually needed to press the button. Goodigo just needed to get it high enough. Here, quickly passing through this map. Not much to say about this map. She just did it. And then the next map is the second time that we preserve fly between maps. He's going to get it in this next map, and then the following map he's going to save it. And that save, that's going to be a lot of time save in the following map. For a couple reasons, but that's at the cost of a couple seconds in this map, which is in the end worth it.
For sure.
Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing it as speedrunners. It just doesn't make sense, obviously. I think he went prematurely there with the fly. No, he didn't. Never mind. See, he just gets the fly, goes up, bounces down.
Looks like he lost his fly.
I think it's because he crouched.
Yeah, he got stuck on the platform. So and he had to crouch to get out of it, so he had to lose his fly there, so now he has to do it again.
Understood. This actually, I think it happened in my... No, it happened in my race. My mistake. It was a bit unfortunate. It loses him a bit of time. He still has the time to go forward, but still. That's perfect. He gets it good. Goodigo was still only a map behind him, despite all odds. Considering the PBs of the two runners, he's holding his own very strong. And I am pretty sure Goodigo's cube almost just walked off the button. I don't know if you saw it flash off for a second. Because this chapter has some special cubes that actually walk, they can actually get off of the button. That's happened to me once before, and that almost happened to him just now. That would be extremely unfortunate if that happened. As you can see, here's that value coming in for Fly Preserve for Xinera. And the added bonus, not just completing the chamber fast by grabbing the cube fast, you can also fly alongside this funnel. Normally the funnels only give you not a lot. I don't actually have the number of how fast they let you go, but it's not fast. It's less than 300 speed. While with funnel fly, you can go as fast as you want, pretty much. The only thing that you have to note about it is that if you go at more than 300, you can't turn anymore. You need to be at less than 300 speed to turn, but that's not an issue on that map because it was a straight line. Now he's on prop catch. This map looks like he's going fast, but this map's actually pretty much on a timer. So he's just... So his speed doesn't really matter that much here, but it's better to go fast and slow, obviously. Goodigo playing laser platform quite well. Messed up that cube alignment with the laser a little bit.
Xinera's in the lead, Aaron.
Xinera's in the lead. It's not far off, and it is possible for Xinera to mess up on the finales. The finales are a hot choke point for a lot of runners.
That'd be really unfortunate.
That would be unfortunate. But an upset would be funny to see. Which would be, because again, Xinera's PB is 5 minutes better than Goodigo's. So this race is surprisingly close. Xinera gonna go for the third and final preserve of fly through maps.
Yeah.
You will see here. Ooh, he's messing. Ooh, that wasn't good. Kind of moved around a bunch. That wasn't that clean, but
we're moving into
gets it.
The final to the final chapter into the game. Then yeah.
Yep. Share a final chapter of the game.
You'll see why the CFG was needed for these final chambers. At least the first one.
Something happened to Xinera, I think. It's too bad that there's a little bit of delay. I don't know if anything. Let's see what Xinera does. First finale, he has fly. Hits up there. For the record, since Wilbo's talked about a lot, these aren't solid. They get removed at some point if you play the map normally, so they're just not solid. He's not no clipping. Don't worry. See, he's just gonna fly through here. This cutscene's kind of long. In that part of it, there's a long funnel ride, so it's good that he can just fly through it.
It also saves this interaction with Wheatley right here, which saves a lot of time.
That's also good. Goodigo too high to get into the door. That's a shame. He knows he can't crouch, because if he crouches, he's gonna lose fly. Makes a smart move. Goes back. I don't like that he uses W to get out of the funnel. It's smarter to hold A or D because that's always guaranteed straight line. I think he's going down again. Meanwhile, Xinera played that chapter pretty well overall. A little bit of hiccups here and there. Goodigo, back and forth. There he is. There we go. There we go.
Yeah, you have the crouch fly throughout finale 1, 2, and most of 3, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
2, just fly around here instead of waiting for this dumb stuff. And it's just a lot of flying, really.
Yeah, for sure.
Can you say? Any others?
It's actually coming up to Xinera's actually coming up to kind of a hard angle he has to take, I believe. You have to strafe quite a bit. No, you don't. Never mind. I'm big brained. But yeah. Goodigo's beginning finale 1 right now.
I'm gonna actually pay attention to whether Goodigo is ahead here or not. Although I am very certain he's ahead. I think he's gonna, unless his PB's not up to date. In which case, whatever. But I think he could PB this race. Xinera can't. The last map takes 3.5 minutes. This PB's 107. It just follows.
I do believe Goodigo's on PB pace, yeah. That's pretty much for certain, I think.
As you can see, he's just still just both players flying along. It's not no clip. There's a glitch in the game that lets you fly. That lets you fly because the funnels get confused. The game thinks you're in a funnel, but you're not. So you have flight despite not being in the thing that lets you have flight, which is technically funnels. Because let's face it, you're flying when you're in a funnel.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, Xinera loses the funnel fly there. He actually has to because you can't finish this level unless you drop down there.
Funnel is
necessary.
It's like the blue thing that makes you like float.
Oh, there's a few things. You saw the blue thing that he just went into, like, yeah, what he said. The blue thing. I think the game technically calls it a tractor beam.
Yeah.
We call it a funnel for some reason.
Yes, the blue wind tunnels. There we go.
The blue wind.
Fair. Okay, that works.
I've seen that's actually a beam. I think one person said that one time.
But yeah. Xinera's on finale 4. He's probably on like high 107 pace, so
Ooh.
which is pretty impressive actually.
Yeah.
He actually might PB depending on what his 107 was.
Excuse me a sec. No, he can't. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure the last map's too long. That's just how it is. It's too long. Give me a second.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if Goodigo is quite on PB pace or not. Yeah, we'll see when he gets to finale 4 for sure.
Apologies. You can see on his splits. If his splits go light red, that means he's behind.
Yeah.
They haven't done it yet, which is a good sign. Yeah, he's on pace. Even if he got behind at that last second, he could easily get it back. Well, the winner of this race gets nothing, except advancement in the tournament. I don't actually know if there's a prize pool for the full tournament. I believe there isn't. But who knows? Maybe a pot will be made.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll be gambling. Who knows? Oh yeah, Discord roll. That is true. I think you get a Discord roll if you win the tournament. Which really is not much of a prize at all, but... Ooh, hold on. Xinera's doing something interesting, actually. So, in this map, something that's valuable is instead of waiting for Wheatley to throw bombs at you, is to preserve bombs. Because he throws multiple at a time, you can just use one to hit Wheatley and then keep the others. He's actually going to do that twice. Which I don't see a lot of players do. It's kind of risky, I believe. Preserving bombs in general is risky because there's something you can do called bad ending. What it means is just that Wheatley continues to throw bombs at you.
Xinera's on the last core right now.
Ooh, that was an interesting route. I think that's Tanger's route. Route credit to Tanger, by the way.
Yeah.
So when you try to preserve bomb like that, there's a risk that he continues to shoot bombs even when he's hurt, and that can kill you in the end cutscene. And that counts as bad ending. That means the run didn't finish. So sometimes you gotta be careful about that. However, he didn't get it either time, so he's good.
We'll see if Xinera goes for the early moon shot or not.
He should. I believe he will. He's gonna get 108. I was right in that he wasn't gonna PB, but 108 is still a pretty good time.
What was Goodigo's PB again?
112.48 according to... I can actually check speedrun.com real quick.
Yeah.
He's going for it, by the way, I think.
He got it.
Perfect.
Well,
108.36.
Xinera won the race with 108.36.
Good game. It, again, a little... pretty much expected, but... Again, Goodigo played pretty well overall. He's still going to PB, which is impressive in itself. I think by a minute?
Yeah,
I think he's going to get a 111, I'm pretty sure. Which is pretty hype. I'm going to...
Just while I have a chance. Just make sure you follow the runners.
I forgot he did that. No, we're not done yet. We have there's a couple more phases left. I will get to that. We're gonna have, first of all, Goodigo's gonna finish because he's gonna PB.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring Xinera in.
If he can.
All right. Ask if he wants to do the interview.
Quick, what's the situation?
Warning. Core corruption at 75%. Reactor
So according to Xinera, that was only 50 seconds off his PB.
Yeah, it was. He definitely
bad.
has room to improve.
facility will
Yeah.
self-destruct in 2 minutes.
I told you.
I sent him a PM for the interview. I don't know if he's gonna respond.
Goodigo's on the final stretch of his run.
He kind of played that a little bit weird, but I guess it was fine. Ooh, missed going through that portal. That's not that bad though. He has jail. Yep, that's sub 112.
100%. Manual core replacement required.
He's not answering me, but
I see.
Substitute core. Are you ready to start? Corrupted core. Are you ready to start?
What do you think?
Interpreting vague answer as yes.
No. Didn't pick up on my sarcasm.
Stalemate detected.
yeah, Gooman, about to flex. Alright, Xinera said sure to the interview. I have invited him.
Stalemate resolution
Cool.
associate. Please press the stalemate resolution button.
As Goodigo. He missed Moonshot, but that doesn't matter.
Hello, Xinera.
Hello, Xinera. First of all, congrats on winning the race.
Hello.
Goodigo put all of all. He actually PB'd by a minute. 1:11:42. Which is a
Nice.
GG on his part. But you have any comments about your run? You did note in the chat that it was a bad run.
Everything about it was bad. Like I felt like I messed up everything, and it also showed me how much time save I actually have in chapter 8, because I saved about 10 seconds on like every chapter 8 map and 20 seconds in polarity because my game crashed in my PB. So
Oh, wow.
there's that. Yeah, I just need to do SS more, or no SLA as it's called
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna
Was-
ask the Goo Man if he wants to get into comms.
Was there anything else that you thought like went wrong in this run?
I mean, I don't know. I can't really pinpoint anything specific. 'cause,
Can't
like,
remember
everything went bad.
Ever.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean,
just
I was stuck
highlight
on
the whole
ceiling
run.
catapult for a year, and I also button glitch on funnel or future starter for like 30 seconds.
Gotcha.
Alright, we got Goodigo for commentary.
Gamers.
Hey,
Hello there.
Hello,
Congrats on
Goodigo.
PB, dude.
that's first thing. Congrats
Yeah,
on the
congrats.
personal best.
Yeah,
Was that PB by a minute, or did you have a?
I
PB
PB'd
up
right
there?
before this, so I was PB by like
Oh.
30 seconds.
Oh,
Still
nice.
a PB, still a PB
Nice.
anyway. It's all
Double
always
PB.
good.
Yeah.
So, you have any comments on your run? Think about the quality of it. Feel
Start
it
was
was
kind of trash. And the middle and ending was pretty okay.
We both had a terrible start, I think. Like, I started off very
Yeah.
well. I was -5 by like
yeah.
the map
Then
before Future Starter, and then Future Starter happened.
I don't know what happened there. That was a fun one. But then Goodigo messed up Secret Panel. You
I
all
went
just kind of
Xinera.
flip flopped. Then Goodigo stayed behind for most of the run. He did keep his own, I would say. He was less
Yeah.
than a minute behind for a good amount. Less than 2 minutes behind for almost all of it.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, with that PB difference, I pretty much had to be lucky and play well, and Xinera to play poorly. But
Yeah.
unfortunately,
Yeah.
Xinera didn't play that bad.
I mean, the gap between your race times was a lot less than your PB gaps. So
sure.
it just goes to show,
Yeah, but I
Goodigo
mean,
pulling out all the stock is going to be scary in the losers bracket. That's for sure.
Yeah, I definitely want to practice more so that I can actually pull off a good time against bets. But
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just I'm not very consistent, which is why I play CM.
Yeah, all
Same.
understood. Eventually we'll get it.
Yeah, because my sum of best is about like 5 minutes better than my actual time. So
But yeah.
it's a
Oh, wow.
pretty big gap.
That's pretty
but-
significant, yeah.
Yeah, and it can probably like I rarely even get to chapter 8 and chapter 7, so I don't even have good goals on those.
True. That's relatable.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I guess that's going to
Yeah.
be pretty much it. Make sure to
Yeah, I think so.
follow the runners, twitch.tv, Xinera, and twitch.tv/Goodigo, both high quality. I know Goodigo streams a lot. I don't know, Xinera, do you stream a lot?
I mean, I want to stream a lot, but it rarely happens.
Yeah, thank you for doing that, Goodigo.
Yeah, thanks, Goodigo.
I'm starting it, but you know, that's good enough. And you have anything else y'all want to say?
No, I don't think so.
Never
It's a
lucky.
good race.
Never
Yeah,
lucky.
never lucky.
The
Shout out to all my
yeah.
speed friends.
So with that, I guess we're gonna say it's done. Make sure to watch. There should be 2 races happening right now.
Yeah.
I don't know the current
Yeah,
situation on that, but we'll get to see it.
The 4-way race on Speed Gaming 4 started about half an hour ago, so if you want to go there, that's on right now. So yeah.
So yep, that's it. We'll, I guess, close it now.
Yeah.
Yep.